Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. My name is Jamie Lee, and I'm joined by my husband, Mr. Jared Lee. Hello, Jared.
Hello.
Well, got a question.
Don't fire away.
I love my questions I give to you. Or I ask you, I guess. So my question is, which is your favorite pool of the Universal Orlando Lowe's hotels? Like, what's the favorite pool that we've been in?
That's a good question. Favorite pool. I mean, I really like Sapphire Falls. I know I've talked about it before, but I think that pool area. It's hard to say 'cause, like, we stayed at Hard Rock, but when we stayed at Hard Rock, it was colder, so we didn't get to really use the pool.
Right.
So I've seen it, but of the ones I've got to use quite a bit, and I like all of them, but I do think Sapphire Falls has like it's almost like the most resort feel to it. Like it's big, it's got the walk-in areas, it's got the sand part, it's got the walk-up bar area right there next to it. Like I feel like it's just got all the stuff. It's got the slide, it's huge.
Yeah.
So I don't know, for that I would probably say Sapphire, but I really like Sapphire a lot. But
I like Sapphire too. I'll tell you one pool I don't really like that much, and this may surprise some people. I don't like the Portofino beach pool. Now they have the sand bottom, entryway and all that stuff. I don't like it because it's kind of hard to see the whole pool.
yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah,
like,
I do, yeah.
I didn't like that part just because I like being able to see the whole pool because of our kids.
Right.
And that's why I like the Sapphire Falls pool. Because if you one end, you can see the whole thing on the other side.
Very wide.
It's very like open. And I do like that when it comes to my kids being in water. But I do like the fact that Cabana Bay has the lazy river.
Yeah,
That's nice
Cabana
too.
Bay is I do like Cabana Bay. It's got two pool areas.
Yeah.
So it is nice. I just think it's not as nice as Sapphire.
Oh, I agree. Absolutely. It's a different category of hotel. So
Right.
that would make sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, we didn't get to do Hard Rock Hotel or the pool at Hard Rock. We did the pool, Portofino. We walked through the Royal Pacific one. Didn't get a chance to go to that one either. But for the ones that we've done, yeah, Sapphire Falls would probably be on my top list. So.
Yeah, I do want to do more of the Universal pools. Like we've stayed at all the hotels.
Yeah.
But we haven't got to experience a lot of the pools. Now, one thing I will say, I shouldn't say a lot of the pools. Some of the pools we haven't got to experience. One thing to note about Universal, and I'm pretty sure this is at all of them, but I know for Sapphire for sure, but it's like, let's say you go up to the pool bar and you order food or a drink, they automatically add tip to that. So a lot of people will add another tip. Now, obviously you can't if you want to, but they already add 18% gratuity no matter what. So you do have to be careful. And I think they'll usually tell you that, but sometimes if you're not careful, they won't. But one thing that is nice about though, you can get those souvenir cups that you can take, and I'm pretty sure any of them, like I have one that says Sapphire, but I'm pretty sure I could take it to any of them, but you can get refills that are a little bit cheaper. So if you do frequent more, you can do something like if you're going to be there for a week and you plan on getting, more than one drink or something, you can do that. But
hot tip
coming in.
All right.
Or I guess landed already. I don't know. I got no more hot tips.
Well, we do have quite a bit of news today. A lot about Halloween Horror Nights and some about Epic Universe. But the meat of our episode, or the entree, if you will, like I like to say.
Same thing.
Is we're talking about Dreamworks Land, because we got to do a pass holder preview for that last week. And we also went through the summer tribute store. We're going to talk about that as well. What we liked, what we disliked, what we think you guys will like, and just an overall review. So...
Yep.
Yeah. Before we get to that, we want to mention some wonderful things like Club 32. Take it away, Jared.
Yes, if you want more content, you can go over to Club 32, ctmvip.com, and we have a private Facebook group. For a limited time, you get 25% off of CTM apparel and 19 Olin Candle Company products. You also have, you've got the Cool Kids Kitchen live streams. You have the Club 32 live streams every Tuesday where we hang out and chat with everybody in there. Plus, that's turned into also a trivia night. You can do that. There's private music loops. There is the Clubhouse show starting this month in June where Club 32 members become part of that show. Lots of other things. I'm forgetting a private podcast feed, all sorts of things. So if you want to go again, ctmvip.com. And if you it's a great community. We got meetups coming up this year. We've got 2. Now we're going on 6. Is it 6 years of meetups?
Almost.
Oh, okay, well,
four
getting
or
old.
5.
All
yeah.
right, well, and we have that plus, you know, if you want to contribute to the show, it's a great way to do that as well. So again, ctmvip.com is where you go for that. Oh, and also don't forget, if you're watching us on YouTube, be sure and subscribe to the channel, like this video over at CTM Podcast. And if you're listening to us on, I always say the good old trusty, I think of it as old time radio, but it's not. It's like new time radio.
Old trusty.
Yeah. On the turn the dial. If you're listening to us on podcast, where we listen to podcasts, we greatly appreciate that. Just ask you, please subscribe to the feed and leave us a review. We'd greatly appreciate it.
We would, yes.
Yes.
Well, let's get to news. Let's talk about some Universal news, man.
I was informed by my agent. That's why I'm in here. What? I can't talk. I was going to say I was informed.
Oh, that was going to be so smooth.
By my agent. That is why I'm here. And my brain went, we're not doing this.
And who's your agent?
I unnamed.
It's me.
It's you?
It's me.
You're my agent?
I'm your agent. I do it all.
I need a raise.
All right. So the first thing we're talking about is there are lots of Halloween Horror Nights announcements that came out this past like 2-3 weeks. So we're going to talk about some of them. The first thing is that we have the name of 6 Halloween Horror Nights houses this year. And these are all original houses. No IPs.
At least thus far.
I'm
sure there will be IPs that are announced.
Well, the 6 that we have so far are original.
Yes. So the first one we have is Slaughter Cinema, but that's with an S, as in sin.
As in sin.
Slaughter Cinema 2. And it says here, if you're dying for a B-movie horror marathon, head to the Carrie Drive-In. Scream through scenes from creature features, grindhouse gore, spaghetti westerns, and more.
Now, this one, I do want to mention that this is what's it?
I have no idea what you're trying to say.
A sequel.
Oh.
My gosh, I couldn't think of it. A sequel house.
For those that know, we're recording this at night, just so you guys know. It's a little late, so maybe our brains are a little gone.
It's true. So our sequel house, because there was a Slaughter Cinema 1, or the first one, and I want to say it was 2018. And so, yeah, they have I think there's 8 different movies that you kind of go through this house in. And of course, Carrie is the setting for a lot of these houses. So, yeah, I think that's kind of interesting. And it's a sequel house, but.
Yes. Next house we have is Goblin's Feast. It says, welcome to the Goblin's Feast Tavern and visit the Goblin Village, where a lavish feast is being prepared for goblins, orcs, hobgoblins, and witches, and you're the main course.
Yikes.
That does not sound like a good time.
I'm not a fan of goblins, but maybe I'll like this.
Goblins are an interesting, Orcs and goblins. I mean, it's kind of Lord of the Rings-esque.
Yeah, I think of the goblins that Green Gods.
Well, yeah, there's
that's what I think of, but yeah.
Next one we have is Major Sweets Candy Factory. It says, you've been invited to chaperone a field trip to a candy factory, but the deadly delicious treats turn the kids into sugar-fueled fiends.
Say that 5 times fast.
Sugar-fueled fiends.
There it is. Yeah.
So that's just a normal field trip, right? I'm confused on why this is a horror house.
That'll be interesting. That'll confuse my brain.
I'm not going to lie. Now, I am new-ish to Halloween Horror Nights. I went the first time last year. I enjoyed it.
Yes.
Now I'm excited to go this year with you. Because last year I didn't. We went separately. I went with some friends. I didn't get to experience a lot, but I did get to go for the first time. But I have to say, I've said on the show many times, the horror genre is not my favorite thing. Especially when it comes to I don't like when kids are involved.
Right.
So I doubt I will probably enjoy it. I will do it, but I'm just going to say it's not my cup of tea to be sweet, demonic children. I just have never enjoyed that.
If it makes you feel bad, they don't use real kids.
Well, I know that. I'm just saying in general. I also know in a horror movie, real children are not being harmed. I'm just saying, as a theme or a trope, it's not my favorite.
Okay.
But
okay.
All right. The next one we have is The Museum, Deadly Exhibit. Ooh. You decide to visit the new folklore museum exhibit, The Rotting Stone, when an evil escapes from within, destroying everything in its path.
Interesting. I'm trying to picture what that's going to look like. A museum house. Everything's
I just think, when I think for whatever reason, I just think of Night at the Museum.
Right.
Maybe they come to life and they're evil, though.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of
nice.
nice.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah. All right. Next one we have is Monstros. I think that's how you say that.
Yeah.
The Monsters of Latin America with La Muerta as your guide. You'll be begging for piedad, I
Yes.
think. I don't speak Spanish. I apologize. From these 3 terrifying legends. Oh, man. Let's see here.
There are 3 that Jared cannot pronounce, and we'll just leave it at that.
The only thing I will say is La Cruza. I don't think that's how you say that. I just wanted to roll my R's. But
Lechuza?
you have like
I don't know.
Tla Shlopichi and El Silban, maybe. I think that one might be right. El Silban, maybe.
Siban, I don't know.
I'm from the Midwest.
We're uncultured on the horror genre in Latin America. I apologize.
That's true. I'm not going to act like
we are
an
not.
expert.
We are not.
There's many things I know in life. One of those, if you were asking
It's
me, I
not.
would say that would not be the one that I know. Yeah.
No.
So. And the last one we have here is Triplets of Terror. You're invited to the Barney Triplets birthday bash, but beware, they celebrate by recreating their family's murders.
Oh my gosh.
Prepare for a gory gathering.
So that one's going to terrify me.
These are very positive things.
gosh.
But yes, those are 6 of
Six of them.
original IP haunted houses that they announced.
I mean, technically it's not an IP, but I get what you're saying.
Well, I just mean in terms of like, it's not like a movie franchise or something like that.
Right. So there's 6. There's 10 total that they'll have during Halloween Horror Nights. So there's 4 we haven't learned about yet. One is assuming it'll, I think it Ghostbusters.
Probably.
Is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
There's another horror movie coming out, and it would coincide well with it. And I can't.
Five Nights at Freddy's?
Well, okay, so that's what I was thinking. Maybe Five Nights at Freddy's, because
that one
really
would make a lot
last
of
year.
sense. It's really
so
popular.
maybe that one.
But I thought they would have done that one last year, to be honest. But it was.
Well,
but,
no, it didn't come.
Well,
remember, it wasn't out yet.
Right.
Or like it came
well,
out
I thought
like
maybe
right
they
after.
would coincide it. But yeah, I mean, it was a pretty big hit, or I say a decent hit for him. So I could see that.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I will say, coming in from, a lot of people talk about everything has to be an IP based when it comes to theme park, which is mostly true. But one thing I do appreciate about Halloween Horror Nights is they do have these like original stories they create for these houses.
Oh yeah.
So that part is kind of, now granted, if you're not into the horror genre, it may not be something you necessarily like, but they are very inventive with those things.
As someone that's not a huge horror fan anyway, kind of like you are, I don't even see it. I kind of just look past it.
Right.
Because I'm like, okay, this is not real. Just it's in my brain. It's not real. And I go into it like appreciating the creativity and the set pieces and the scare actors, like what they're able to accomplish. And that's what I like about Halloween Horror Nights. I don't like the scare factor. I don't like that. Doesn't thrill me. It's everything else.
Yeah, we talked about last year. Like I was unsure. I had never been. And the last time I'd been to a haunted house, I was much younger, and I got a little punchy. And I was like, but this year I went. I didn't get punchy. I enjoyed it, and I think for that same reason, like I really enjoyed the what was it? The house in the video game,
Last of Us,
because that was one of my favorite video games. That what it was
Right.
based on, and it was such a good job on that game, in that house. So yeah, I think a lot of that of the creativity and all that stuff like that is neat. So you can get into that, and I mean, again, coming from somebody who does not enjoy that genre, I had a really good time, and I'm excited this year to do it with you, do more houses.
Yeah.
And
if we're doing it together, I mean, we're doing all 10.
Okay.
We're doing all 10.
All right.
I did 8 or 9 last year, and I ran out of time. So
Yeah.
I will get to 10 this year. I will do it. Okay, so the next thing about Halloween Horror Nights is that Premier Pass holder dates have been announced for Halloween Horror Nights. Now, these are the dates that Premier Pass holders that hold a Premier Pass they can use their free Halloween Horror Nights ticket, basically, because every pass holder that's a Premier Pass holder gets a free Halloween Horror Nights entry, basically.
Yeah, so the dates that they have are September 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 11th, 12th, 15th, 18th, 19th, 25th, and 26th. In October, you have a few in there. You have the 2nd, 3rd, 9th, 10th, and 30th. And then in November, you can do the 1st, the 2nd, and the 3rd.
So I do want to talk about this real quick because I think this is telling about what happened last year, maybe the year before. So all of the Premier Pass holder nights, except for one weekend, do not occur on a Friday or a Saturday night.
Yeah.
So I think it's the 6th and the 7th are the only Friday and Saturday nights that they're allowing Premier Passes to be accepted. They also had last year with no October dates. I think maybe there was one October date last year for Premier Pass holders. And this year there's 5, including October 30th, which I think is interesting because it's so close to Halloween. So I think it's interesting how they're shifting to more of a like midweek and Sunday kind of thing for pass holders. And like for us, that's okay. Like we'll probably end up doing a Thursday. That works out better for us anyway. You know, my mom watches the kids. It's not a big deal. So that doesn't bother us. But I know there's a lot of people, a lot of Premier Pass holders who are a little upset because every year they've had basically all of September, most of the dates in September available for Premier Pass holders. And this is new, the way they're doing it this year.
Yep.
But it's because Fridays and Saturdays are really heavy with like just single day ticket holders and frequent fear pass people that go. And I think they're like, okay, we gotta filter some people out and it's going to be premier pass holders. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think they just like one group had to go. And I think it was us.
Yeah. I mean, having gone last year, and they're not doing this until next year.
Till 2025.
But in 2025, you will have to reserve the date that you're going to go and use your free ticket as a Premier Pass holder. Now, a lot of people have really like said, oh, it's like a park reservation system and things like that. Honestly, from the perspective of crowd flow and having gone last year, I was surprised because I remember telling you, I'm like, okay, what do I do? Where do I get a ticket? What do I do? And you go, just show them your pass and they let you in. So I thought that was interesting from the fact of like any given night that AP Premier Pass holders can come. You could just have this giant influx of pass holders that you have no idea how many are coming. And the night we went was very busy.
Yeah.
And we only got to do like 3 houses and it was, it could have been done much better, but I went with friends and I was just hanging out with them. I wasn't really trying to like get the most in.
Right.
But I think they have Halloween Horror Nights has become so popular that they're working with crowd flow. And I think this is probably one of those ways of trying to make it where when you are able to go, whether you have a Premier Pass or you're paying to go, you're still being able to experience a lot. Because last year, a lot of people, I mean, it was mostly waiting in lines.
Yeah.
And I think, yes, you can get an express pass, but I still think the people that don't get that, you still want to enjoy the time you go.
Yeah.
And not just be standing in line all the time. So I think they're working through growing pains.
Right.
And I'm not surprised that, like, say the Premier Pass holders kind of have, maybe less dates. It never, it doesn't guarantee you all the dates and things like that. But as long as it's a perk, obviously more options would be great. But, I think November 1st, 2nd, or 1st through 3rd is an interesting date of like how many people will do it then. And things like that.
A lot.
Yeah, I'm sure. But, I mean, I'm not surprised. I have, it comes from the standpoint of like us doing this show and knowing how theme park works and like the business side of things. I'm not surprised that that's where that would begin with. But so.
Well, another thing that they announced was that there is a new exclusive event called Premium Scream Night. And this takes place the day before the first Halloween Horror Nights event on August 30th. This occurs on August 29th. And this is, we only know a little bit, but this is what we know. So
yeah, they say here, everything you'd love about Halloween Horror Nights, but with limited capacity, shorter wait times, haunted house entry staggered by group, select all you care to enjoy food and more. This includes an exclusive event souvenir credential and lanyard, access to select attractions at Universal Studios Florida, and free self-parking on the night of the event. It is priced at $350 per person and $25 off for select APs, and the tickets go on sale June 6th. It's almost like an after-hours event for Halloween Horror Nights in a way.
So to me, this seems very much like an RIP.
Yeah, true.
Ticket, and that's about the same price because I think it went up to like $329 this year. This is happening. This is almost like a soft opening, like a soft tour, I guess. But yeah, including food and drink is pretty big, is major because they have a lot of food and drink.
Yeah.
Remember last year they did that event. Then they had an event that was like weeks beforehand before they started. And it was just for media.
Oh yeah, I do.
Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
But I thought you could buy a ticket too. I remember something about it.
I think
Wasn't there some ticket thing you could do?
I think there was.
You could sample the food and drinks and like. There was no you couldn't go through the houses yet.
Yeah, it was
but like this is like the next step of that. I think.
Yeah, it was something along those lines. I mean, the food here has become much more. I mean, obviously, it's like the food is themed as well. If you've never been here, like there's food items that have the horror aspect to them. So yeah. I mean,
unfortunately, we will not be doing this. $350 is a lot of money. Since we do have the free premiere night with our passes, we're just gonna go ahead and use that.
Right.
And we're just a one time a year, like we don't do like the frequent fear pass. We just go once a year, get all the houses done, and then we're good. So doing this multiple times or doing a very big upcharge like that is just not something we do.
No, I mean, I wouldn't be. Yeah, I mean, even if it was a discount, you'd be talking. That's like probably over $600
for
to go. Probably to go. But we are doing. Which tour are we doing this year?
We're doing the Behind the Screams tour. Is that what it's called? It's the one where you can go behind the scenes and you can look at the houses with the lights on.
Oh, that's right.
And the creativity team will take you to like the sets and show you how they made it, and it's like 3 hours long, and I think we're doing the 3 house tour. So that I am excited for because that's why I like these houses. Yeah. I like finding out that kind of stuff. So that'll be really cool. That'll be really cool. So.
Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's all the Halloween Horror Nights news we're going to talk about today. So let's move on to Epic Universe. And we don't have huge amounts of Epic Universe news, but we're going to talk about Starfall Racers. So Starfall Racers roller coaster that's in is it Celestial Park area?
That is correct.
Thank you. It has a name change. So what is it?
Yeah, so it was, announced and everything, Starfall Racers. It is being changed to Stardust Racers.
And why is that?
The details are there's an education company that I don't know if they sued Universal, but they have something called Starfall something or the other.
Okay.
And I'm sure Universal was just like, whatever, we'll change it to Stardust. I mean, because this ride is not based on an IP. It's something that they've created. So at the end of the day, I don't really think this changes much. I think it's just, other than I've been calling it Starfall Racers for like over a year now, but it is Stardust Racers.
Stardust.
So I don't think it, in a way, I mean, I don't know if I like it more, but it probably displays the same thing. So nothing changes with the ride. It's just the name.
Why do I picture like roller derby?
Stardust is something you would have, like a roller derby character would have been like, here comes Stardust.
Exactly. That's why I picture roller derby, and I don't think I should, but I do.
That's my wrestling name, Stardust.
Stardust.
Yeah.
The second part we're going to talk about news-wise for Epic Universe is that the Preview Center is opening sometime in June. We don't know when in June, but it will be soon. And the entrance into the store is a portal.
Like there will be in Epic Universe.
Yes,
yeah.
it's a circular portal, which excites me.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. Now, this is going where it was the Universal. It's a Legacy store. I was going to say retro, but Legacy store. Yeah. So it's going to be right on City Walk. But yeah, it's going to be Preview Center that. We don't know what'll be in it, but obviously there'll probably be like a model in there. A lot of like.
I think there'll be a model of the whole thing.
It's going to be pretty big though. They'll probably have a lot of previews showing on TVs and things. Yep. So that'll be interesting to see. I'm sure they'll probably sell merchandise in there as well.
Absolutely, Jared. So they already have Epic Universe merchandise.
They do. I've seen some people wearing them around. Yeah. But yeah, that's coming in sometime in June, and as soon as that is, I will be over there to check it out.
As will I. I'll be there too.
Okay. Jared. Also on the Epic Universe front, there will be an Epic Universe construction update this week because there were some photos that got dropped by Bio Reconstruct last week, or this week technically. And
what day is it?
I don't even know. I don't know what's going on.
It's Saturday night.
I'm here though. That's all I know. But yes, that's I'll be holding an Epic Universe video this week. So be on the lookout for that. There's actually a lot of stuff. Like construction is getting to the point where it's going so fast now. Like. You wait 2 weeks and you're just like, oh, okay, that's up, that's done. So because they're getting to the point where a lot of the exterior work is like coming to the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exciting.
Very.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's all for the news today. We're going to move on to talking about The main entree.
The main entree, or just the entree?
Just the entree.
Are you hungry? I feel like there's a lot of food references.
I think I am.
Oh, okay.
Let's talk about Dreamworks Land, Jared.
Well, that's one reason why I'm here.
Let's talk about Dreamworks Land. So, what is Dreamworks Land? Tell me.
What is Dreamworks Land? Well, it's a brand new land that replaced Woody Woodpecker's Kid Zone. So you'll find a few DreamWorks animation worlds basically come to life in here.
So the land is divided into 3 sections. There's Shrek, there's Trolls, and there's Kung Fu Panda. And there's a little bit of Puss in Boots in there, but that's also Shrek. So it's almost like the same thing. But basically Shrek's in the front, Trolls is in the middle, Kung Fu Panda's in the back. So
yes.
Let's take it by section and just talk about what's in it. And then at the end, we'll talk about how we felt about the lands in general and what we think could be better.
If anything.
Let's do it.
Who knows what we're going to say?
That's true.
That's true.
All right. What's in the Shrek area?
All right. Shrek area, you have Shrek's swamp meat. This is Shrek's house. That is not really a secret anymore. That's been there. But this is where you can meet Shrek, Fiona, and Donkey at the entrance to his swamp cottage. This is also where the donkey, like the old one where outside the old 4D show, that you had the donkey would talk. It's the same thing there.
Yep.
They just moved it. So that was always a crowd favorite. So they moved it over here.
Yep.
You have Shrek's Swamp for Little Ogres. It's a play area for small kids with slides, a wet play zone.
That was not operational.
It was not working. We were there, yeah.
Yep.
Rope bridges and lots of climbing opportunities. It says Shrek's outhouse has also been turned into a slide that makes farting noises as you go down, and it does. Anytime there's a laser you can see, anytime you get in it, it starts making the noise until someone gets out of it.
And it's literally called the poop chute.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. You can also meet Pinocchio at Pinocchio's Fact Shack, where you ring the bell and listen to him give, quote, facts, and watch his nose grow, because he's a liar. And there's a small cattail garden splash pad in here as well.
Very small. But like right there, right in front of it.
Yes. You also have King Harold's Swamp Symphony. This is lily pads that are on the ground. When you step on them, they make music, and you step on a certain one, and a cerand frog will make a noise.
Like croak the notes.
Yeah, so you can get a bunch of people, and you could technically do a symphony if you would like. And then there is Swamp Snacks, and this is a snack stand where you can get a lot of snacks, including
Shrek-themed stuff.
Yes, including the Shrek skull. How do you say it? Shrek skull? I can't talk.
Shreksel.
Just
Shreksel.
Shreksel. I got to think about that one.
Yep.
You can get that one. So they have a far a waffle. They have the Shreksel, which I will say, we'll talk about it, is $12.29. Is how much the pretzel is here.
Yeah.
So,
well, let's go ahead and talk about it since we're going through it right now.
Well, real quick, you've got the Swamp Dog, Mud Puddle Pudding, Frozen Ogre, Sour Apple Ice Pop, Chunky Donkey, Chocolate Ice Pop, and then you have drinks and alcohol you can get. But yeah. All right. The Shrek Soul. I got to really think about
Shrek Soul. That's
$12.29. Now, when I saw the pricing of that, I was like, I was expecting, $7, $8. 12's kind of high, but I was like, okay, whatever. So we got this to try it.
And it is in the shape of Shrek's head.
It is. It's his face.
But it's not any bigger than a regular pretzel. At least I don't think so.
It's about the same size, I would say, as a typical big pretzel.
Yeah.
It also comes with green cheese to dip in, which is...
It's just cheese.
It's just cheese with food coloring, but it's very strange.
Why is it strange?
Mentally, to me, it was odd.
Okay.
Just because I'm not used to, dipping things in green stuff like that. But
what'd you think?
It was fine. It was a good pretzel. Nothing amazing. I still think if you're talking a theme park pretzel, Baseline Tap House one is probably better, much cheaper. It was good. I was surprised. I don't think this is worth $12.
Okay, I'll agree with that. I don't think it's worth $12 for a pretzel.
I think that price needs to come down a bit because again, you're talking that's almost an entree of a meal for $12.
Almost. And the thing is, though, I know you say it was okay and everything. I actually kind of liked it.
No, what I'm saying okay is I liked it. I like pretzels. It was fine. It was a good pretzel. It wasn't bad. I just don't think any pretzel is really worth $12, I guess.
Well, if you're not looking at the price, just the dish.
Yeah, it was fine. Yeah, I mean it's shaped like Shrek, which I like that Universal is doing more of this, and it's good. price is a little up there, but if you're not thinking about the price, it's fine. Like it very much is in line with like a Mickey pretzel and things of that nature. So
See, I didn't think it was just fine. I liked it. I enjoyed it.
okay.
Like I liked it better than a regular Mickey pretzel that's just like a regular one.
I think
But that's me. That's just me.
I like it. When I think of like what's an amazing pretzel to me, it would be like Auntie Anne's cinnamon sugar pretzels.
Well, yeah, that's
So to
added
me,
it, though.
that's like top tier pretzel. So all other pretzels that fall below that, I'm just like, yeah, it was a good pretzel. Like it was fine. I would eat the whole pretzel.
Okay.
I have no problem with it, but it's not a cinnamon and sugar Auntie Anne's pretzel.
Just FYI, it is more dense than a regular pretzel.
It
wasn't as soft.
It was. I mean, it was fine. It seemed very
Again, it was
doughy.
fine.
Yeah.
Great. I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it. All right, well, let's do the troll section next. Like, what's in the troll section, Jared?
Well, you got the Trolls Troller Coaster, which is just the Woody Woodpecker roller coaster rethemed, essentially. So if you've ridden that, it's the same exact ride.
But they bulldozed it, right? And they rebuilt it, or did they just paint it?
No, they just painted it.
Oh,
Everything's
okay.
the same, like the
Got
track and everything. I'm pretty sure. I don't think they didn't bulldoze it for sure. They may have replaced some parts. I'm not sure, but it's the same ride and everything.
Okay.
So
All right.
but this one says the only ride in the entire land technically. Guest ride on the Catter bus and twist and turn to avoid the spiders. It's a lot. I would say it's a lot cuter than Woody Woodpecker roller coaster. It's themed well, but again, if you ridden it, it's the same. It's the same queue and everything.
It's a kitty coaster.
The queue is in the sun. And it is very hot. But
yeah.
So our daughter and I rode this, and it was like exactly the same as I remembered it. But
Baby Thor
just
had
rethemed.
no interest.
He did not. He's ridden it
Not
before, but
any interest.
when it was Woody Woodpecker, but he did not want to ride it.
We asked
But
him if he wanted to go. He was like, no.
he was very evident about no. Yeah. You've also got Poppy's Playground. This is a very small kid playground for like littles.
Little bitties.
There's a 20-foot pink marshmallow. Excuse me, not marshmallow, mushroom in there. And the kids can climb on
marshmallow.
I know, marshmallow would be nice. Kids can climb on flowers, bugs, and even crawl through some little bushes and things
Little
like that.
troll bushes. They're shaped like a teardrop, kind of. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do. I saw it. Yeah.
Yeah. The pink mushroom is where you can get the shade. That's where the shade is.
It's nice. It's shaded. It's definitely for, and we'll talk about more of like overall thoughts, but this one is definitely for little kids.
Our kids were like, "Oh, this is it."
Like
They
it's
were
for like
bored.
kids that are like crawl and like very small.
Yes. Yep.
You also have Trolls Treats, and this is the snack stand that looks like a boom box, which is kind of cool looking.
This.
So here they have the Poppy-licious pink cone, and it is pink lemonade soft serve with glitter and flower sprinkles for $7.49. You also have the Brozone berry cone, which is huckleberry soft serve with green leaf sprinkles.
Also $7.49.
Yeah, and they also have sodas available in here. So it's mostly ice cream and drinks you can get. But we did get the Poppy-licious pink cone.
I love this. I thought it was so good.
It was also a very hot day, so ice cream was a great treat to have.
But like the flavor, I love the pink lemonade.
No, it was really good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. Yeah, I know our daughter liked it. Like it was good.
And the flower sprinkles they were big. They were big sprinkles. And they did fall off very quickly because it was melting. So, but we all ate some.
Mm-hmm.
So
came in a waffle cone.
It was delicious.
Yeah, I had no complaint. I'd like to try the Brozone one.
Yeah, I heard the huckleberry one was good too, but we settled on Poppy.
Yeah, but again, the stand looks like a '90s boombox, which
so
is kind of cool. But,
I love it.
Yeah. In here, you also have the DreamWorks Imagination Celebration Show. So this is the show that incorporates using your imagination with singing. It has dancing and puppetry. Screens are used in a 360-degree theater setting, and characters from Trolls, Shrek, Kung Fu Panda, and Madagascar appear.
Yeah, the Madagascar one is a surprise at the end, so we can't say who it is. But yeah, it's a super cute show. Like the way they involve like the screens behind you with the singing and everything. Like I mean, it was entertaining the whole time.
So I really enjoyed this show. So if you think about it, this is them doing if you've ever been to Disney Junior Dance Party over in Hollywood Studios, it's like their version of it, but much better in my opinion, because they are actually singing.
Yes.
So they don't lip sync. They have two actors, singers, whatever. They're singing songs, telling a story. But like it was a good show. It was entertaining. It wasn't too long. You get to sit.
It was about 20 minutes.
Ice cold air conditioning. I will say on a hot day was great. Yeah, I thought it was a really good show. I did. It was the characters come out, and so for like kids, if you like those characters, you get to see them up close, and like some of the they had the donkeys out there, but there's like they use puppetry stuff like that.
That was really cool.
And
if you've ever seen the way they do Olaf in this on the stage show or even on Broadway, same thing. It was the same, just like that.
Yep. And there's like some dragons with Kung Fu Panda that were cool as well, the way they did that. So I thought the show was really good. So technically, you've got the roller coaster and this show, I guess, would be the two attractions really in the land.
And this is the same theater that used to be Destination Dreamworks, which they use the same kind of like platform stage.
I was trying to say, I don't know if they even changed that stage.
They didn't change the stage. They just put in seating.
Bleachers.
They used to be just like little dots you sit on.
That's right, yeah.
And they came up and interact with you, but they brought characters from DreamWorks out. But this actually had like a clear story. There was a problem in the solution, and in singing and dancing, it was great.
Yeah.
So, no complaints. It was great.
Yeah.
Love that one.
Agreed.
And then there's one more thing in this land.
Yes, you have the High Five Hideaway. And this is a gift shop with all three featuring IPs, and also Gabby's Dollhouse and more things in there. But very small.
Very small.
Not very big in here, but it has some things you can get in there.
Yes. That was the only place you could buy things, I think. Was that the only gift shop besides the snacks?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, it was. Okay. Anyway.
Pretty sure.
All right, let's move on to Kung Fu Panda area, which is Poe's Kung Fu Training Camp.
Yes, this was the Curious George section previously. So
yes.
You have in here the Pond of Perpetual Wetness splash pad. So it's a small splash pad.
Yeah.
You have Mr. Ping's Noodle Caboodle, which is metal noodle you can hang on and twist around, plus spinning noodle bowls.
Yep.
Cannon shooting area and a water bucket dump area.
Not labeled. Don't know what that's called. But I don't know if it should be, because again, this is all in technical rehearsal. So I think some of the stuff like wasn't done yet, like some signs and everything.
Yeah, I don't think all that was in there, but
yeah.
You also have Poe Live, and it's a live interactive experience with Poe as you help him babysit his cousin Ling, and ask him any question you'd like. This is very much like Turtle Talk with Crush, where somebody's got a microphone and they interact with the kids and things like that.
Yeah.
And then they have the giant gong, and you can pull the rope, and the gong makes many different types of gong sounds. Some good, some not so good, but you do that. And I didn't get to spend a lot of time in here. Because our son was like, he wanted to go back to do other stuff. He wanted to go back to the Shrek playground area. That's what he wanted to do.
Spoiler alert, that's what our kid likes the most.
But yeah, so this area is pretty big. If you remember the Curious George area, it's big back here. But yeah, that is the land. That is what's in here.
And they left the framing, I guess. So how it was like semi-circled almost, and obviously they took the ball pit area, and that's where the Poe Live show is now. But the whole framing is still there, which is crazy.
Yeah, the water dump stuff is in the exact same spot it was when it was Curious George. So
so they just
a lot of it's
like
just repurposed
rethemed
things. Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about what we liked. What did you like about it? What did our kids like? What was the main areas that we kind of were drawn to the most?
Well, first off, I like this is an updated kids area that I think Universal greatly needed.
Yeah.
I mean, the Kids Zone before was fine, but again, you're talking, it was IPs that, Woody Woodpecker, Curious George, that kids today don't know these characters. So you've updated it with some IPs that kids know about. I think that's a good thing. I thought the theming was well done. I thought Shrek's area was really well done. I thought the troll stuff was good.
I do too.
I do have some thoughts on the Kung Fu Panda area, but it was well themed. I thought it was very well. It all looked great. It all looked very. I wouldn't say modern. I think just very well themed and clean.
Yeah,
is the way to put it.
Yeah.
The ice cream was good.
Yep. We like.
I mean, all the food actually was good in here.
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all.
Outside of the pricing of a pretzel, but all the and they had drinks. Now you could get, there was beer in here if you wanted beer. I didn't know if they would have that or not, but they did have beer in here. So if you're you can let your kids run around. You can sip on a drink if you'd like one. Yeah,
just kidding.
I don't think they'll let you do that.
Just kidding. Yeah.
Don't do that.
No.
anything I like the show. The show was really
The
good.
show was really good. We liked the show. I forgot to mention that they were doing Trolls meet and greets in front of the fountain in front of the show entrance. We did meet Guy Diamond because he's amazing. But we also saw Poppy out there. So I don't know how many other Trolls characters come and go, but that's just who we saw when we were there.
What's the other one?
Branch was
out there at one point. And then they had another area too where it's like Gabby's dollhouse.
Yes.
So Gabby it's toward the very front of it. She meets out there, but they also had like the king from Madagascar, and other things. So they have there's a lot of meet and greet opportunities. Obviously Shrek is a meet and greet. So there's a lot of meet and greet opportunities in this lane, which I did like. I really liked the Shrek and Donkey one. Now when we met Shrek, Donkey was not doing the talking thing he was normally doing.
He wasn't out there.
I think he was on break.
No, and I didn't see Fiona at all.
I didn't see her either.
Didn't see her in other previews, other days. I haven't seen her yet. So I don't know if she's just not ready yet.
Maybe they're working on her.
Maybe they're, I don't know.
But yeah, a lot of meet and greet opportunities, which I think is good. I think that's something Universal is definitely trying to develop more of. They haven't really been much of a meet and greet thing until, obviously with Nintendo and things coming up, they're going to do more of that. But yeah, thought that was good. The kids play area, the Shrek play area,
the little ogres.
Now our kids really like that.
Yes, they did.
Now one thing I like about, and I know you can attest to this.
Yes.
Fievel's Playland area before was a lot of people.
It was a nightmare for me.
Well, as a parent, Jamie one time lost our son in there, and it was.
I panicked and I thought he ran off.
It was not good.
It was bad.
For like 10 minutes, and we found him. He was fine. He was just hanging out back there.
Yep.
But yeah, so it was hard. Like as a parent, if you don't have kids, you'll be like maybe you won't understand, but being able to see your kids and have a sight line. And one thing I like about this play area is there's only one way in and out.
Yes.
So once they go upstairs, you can stand back. Like it's not like they can get out through the back.
Right. You could stand in the very front, and then there's nowhere for them to go besides the entrance and the exit.
Now there's not as much in terms of place. Like it's not as big and vast as Fievel's play area for sure, but it's much more simplified, and it's much more for littles. Like it's got 3 slides in the front, then you have the farting slide.
Is that right? 3 slides? Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. 3 slides.
There's like 3 or 4 places to climb up.
Yeah, and they're small. So if you look at it, you can take the stairs so you go into it, and you can hit the Pinocchio thing, and he'll talk.
Yeah.
Which the speaker needs to be a little bit louder. He was kind of
could
quiet,
not hear him. Yeah.
Which maybe they'll adjust that. But you can take the stairs up and go up there, or on each side you can climb. Now the one on the left side is kind of for bigger kids because I had to climb in there and help our son get up there because he wasn't quite big enough. The one on the right is for littles.
Yes.
So he could climb up there on his own. So it was like rope climbing, stuff like that. And they had like rope tunnels you can go through. So there's things to do up there, but it's much more simplified than what was there before. And
also it's ADA compliant. Like there's a ramp. So if you've got kids or even adults that are, in, accessible issues or need a wheelchair or whatever, you can go up and go down the slides.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool because I hadn't seen that. I don't see that with other playgrounds that much. So I thought that was a good touch.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So I like that a lot. I thought that was good.
Yeah. I will say I liked the colors, especially of Trolls. It was very vibrant, and I like that you could distinguish each land, like each section of this land easily.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, we're in the Shrek area. Oh, okay, this is Trolls. But each section is not that big. I mean,
it's not a big
Trolls area.
It's not a big land.
No,
in general, it never was. But,
yeah.
Man. Overall, I think it's a great place for littles.
Yeah.
And I think it's something like if you're
littles, like what? What
like our daughter is almost 8. That makes me feel old saying that.
Yeah.
She's borderline, like she enjoyed it, but you give her another year or two, like she'll age out of this. So it's definitely for like, I would say for sure like 8 and under. I even think 10-year-olds would probably they would probably like it maybe, but
10's too old.
It's definitely for little kids. I think that is very clear. And I think that's a lot of people not liking it go to this thinking it's going to be something different. But I do think this is something Universal has needed, which is something for little kids. That's been a complaint that we've had since obviously since we've been going here, our kids have been little.
Yeah.
And there hasn't been a lot of stuff for them to do, but this is one of those things that is made for them.
Well, let's talk about what it lacked. What we thought, like, okay, well, we talked about what we liked. What did we not like? And can I start because I noticed this right away.
Fire away.
Okay. I was not impressed with the Kung Fu Panda area. It seemed like there was a lot of underutilized space. It didn't pull the kids in at all. We spent the least amount of time there.
Yeah.
Like they just didn't seem like they were like, entertained at all. The show was cool, but there's this whole other space that had nothing in it. Like it was just like empty space. And I was like, why don't we put like another food stand back here? Or like maybe do some kind of like small quick service area with like, Asian inspired dishes. You know what I mean?
I don't know if there's a big enough space for a quick service.
Okay, just a snack stand then.
Right, yeah.
Like I feel like that's even like pot stickers.
You just want, I know what you want. You want cheeseburger egg rolls.
No. I want something that would fit the land. And I think like pot stickers, which is like very like general like Asian food they serve in America.
Right.
I think that would be something that would be very like doable.
Yeah.
I really think that like is a missed opportunity if they don't do something back there. So that was my main complaint, honestly, with the whole land was just that Kung Fu Panda just didn't seem to like do it for me.
I definitely think Kung Fu Panda was the weakest in terms of like when it was Curious George back there, you had a playground. You had the water play areas. Yes. Like it was a big area back there you could play in. Like even though it didn't really work that well, the ball shooting stuff was kind of cool. It wasn't really a ball. You shot. It wasn't really a pit.
Sorry, I call it a pit,
but you shot the ball. But it didn't really work that well, to be honest. But I feel like they kind of underutilize the space. There's play stuff, but again, like there's not that much. If it's busy like it was when we were there, there's not a lot for most of the kids. Like once you get like a couple of kids on something, like you just gotta sit around and wait. Yeah. So I definitely think they could have done a little bit more with it back there. Again, it's well themed.
It's themed very well.
Yeah. Having taken away the playground and things like that, so it's a little bit less than what was there. But I think Kung Fu Panda was the weakest in there.
Yeah.
But again, not a lot of shade. Is probably another thing. It was a very hot day. We were there. That was, finding shade. But then I did have umbrellas on the benches, so they could always add more of those.
Yeah. So I'm okay with that.
They had spots.
Yep. Because you're going to have a lot of parents just going to need a place to sit and chill while your kids are playing,
Especially in the little ogre area. For sure.
Yeah.
You have some stuff over there.
Yeah, I found they did have a really, really strong fan blowing, and I stood right in front of that.
They had a couple, actually. They were like just little stations. So that part they did have some fans set up.
Yeah.
But, they could use some more places to sit, perhaps, in general.
Yeah.
But, all in all, I enjoyed it. I thought the land I thought it was an improvement from what was there. It definitely seemed like they probably had a pretty limited budget, if I were to guess.
Yes. I think, and also too, manage your expectations with going to this land if you have children that are this age range. I don't know how long you would spend in here. Maybe if it's your first time in there, you may spend maybe like, I don't know, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, depending on if you do everything. But I think for most kids, once you do it once, I don't know how long you would spend in here. I think I don't think it's going to grab
repeatability.
You. Yeah.
Well,
like
I think
the show and the roller coaster probably, and maybe the meet and greets.
Yeah, but I think like kids like our son's age would like the slides and stuff. I think that they would like the play area stuff. It's one, obviously, you're not going to spend all day in here. We were in here. We were in and out of here with less than 2 hours. Now, granted, it was hot and our kids were kind of cranky because they were tired and hot and they were kind of being whiny. But that's kids.
Well, that's kids. It was like 95 degrees.
It was very hot in their defense. But yeah, so like in that sense, it's like it's not going to be an all day thing. But I do think it was an improvement from what they had. But it's very much of a get in here, spend a little time in here, and then move on with your day sort of place. But I think for what they worked with, they probably had a limited budget. I thought it was very well done, however you want to say that. Now, what's interesting is, Universal is doing like this, kid park in Texas that I think we're going to see more of these. I think this is along the lines of what you'll find there, and it makes sense because like you can build these things pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, little kids don't require that much money to entertain them with theme parks compared to adults and older kids. So
Au contraire, mon frère.
No, I just mean in terms of like rides. You can do simple rides for them. Okay. So I think this is along the lines of something we may see in like Texas and what they do with that stuff. But I think a lot of people aren't going to like this probably because they either don't have kids or they were expecting it to be something else. Mm-hmm. I think if you just compare it to the Kid Zone that was there, I think it's an improvement. So I think this is something kids will want to check out. Whereas before, like our daughter would be like, oh, let's go over here. Like, well, what's in there? Woody Woodpecker. And she's like, what's that?
Who's that? Yeah.
And I get it. So Trolls is a very popular IP. I mean, Shrek, not as much, but, Shrek does have the meet and greet thing, but Trolls probably being the main draw in there would be what I would assume. So.
Yep. And we will check it out again once it's like fully open. Because right now it's still in technical rehearsal. Previews are over, but it is technically open. It's just not maybe running at full speed. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, it opens June 14th. So we will check it out then.
Yes.
Okay, let's move on to talk about the Summer Tribute Store. Now, the Summer Tribute Store, Tribute Store itself has 2 locations now. It used to be just in the New York area, right across from like Jimmy Fallon Ride. Mm-hmm. It is there. Halloween Horror Nights is there. But sometimes they use the space in Beverly Hills area in the Hollywood. So that's where this one is. And it's actually 3 different rooms. So, it's called Tribute Store Plaza, first of all.
Yes.
And it's almost like an 80s strip mall kind of thing where you've got a mega video rental, you have a mega castle arcade, and you have a tribute theater, which is like the movie theater. Mm-hmm. And, let's just first of all, we can go through each room if you want to, or we can just do like a general thing about it. I mean, there's really not much to say, just the fact that it was really cool.
Yeah. Well, okay, we can go through. It was E.T., Jaws, Back to the Future, and Ghostbusters as the main IPs in here.
Those are the ones they focused on.
We can go through each room. So the first one you've got is the mega video rental room. Yeah. So it's, if you remember now, for you youngins, you won't know this, but it very much looked, now actually to their credit, this very much looked like definitely an early 80s rental store.
Definitely.
But very much how it used to be with rental stores. So you walked in and particle board walls, VHS tapes.
Is that what they're called? Particle board?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what that's called.
Or
wood paneling.
Wood paneling.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Yeah.
You had the glass counter. They were selling like old cameras and stuff like that in there. You had a bunch of old posters. Yeah, like would have been like for movies. They had actual tapes that they were secured, but they were on the shelves. Like you could grab them to rent. And I was explaining to our daughter how this used to work.
How you did
she was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Well, you didn't just click on Netflix and say we would like to watch this. You went to the store.
This is a VHS tape,
and if you found a really popular movie and you could get it, this is what you did." So,
and they had those guest pictures. You could put your picture on the VHS tapes that displays it in the store.
Yeah.
And you have to buy that. I forgot how much it was, but you could do that. So that's in the store.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they had a lot of signs about like, please rewind. They had like where the people worked, all this stuff. Like it was all very, very well themed. Like you could probably there's probably tons of Easter eggs in there that you could check out.
Oh, tons of Easter eggs. The cork board on the wall right before you enter the store had a ton talking about Halloween Horror Nights, Ghostbusters, E.T., Back to the Future, even like Gerg the llama thing. They talked about Earl the squirrel. They had references to Ray's Occult. Remember that from the second Ghostbusters? Is that store he had?
Oh,
there was like an ad for that. Like there was stuff all over the place. So it was really cool.
Yeah, they even had a janitor's closet.
They did, and it said "Get out."
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mr. Tape is the mascot in this store, and he's a little cassette tape guy thing, and he was positioned everywhere in there, and he said, "If it's not rewound, you won't be found." And I was like, "Oh, dang." That's threatening.
That's very ominous. But so yeah, you go through this area, and in here as well, they had merchandise. Obviously, that's the point of these stores is you go in here and it's themed merchandise in these stores. So
the first section was Ghostbusters. When you first walk in, first Ghostbusters. Second one was Back to the Future, and the third one was E.T.
Yeah,
basically.
So and the second one was the Mega Castle Arcade, and very much looked like an arcade you would have saw in the 80s. Like it kind of dark, had the purple light in there a lot of confetti.
No, the confetti floor.
That's what I was saying. Confetti floor. That's what I meant. Sorry. You couldn't play any of the games. They had a lot of games set up, but they were very much themed to like. They had one that was themed to Halloween Horror Nights. They had one. They was very much themed to Universal, which is cool.
But if you pay attention and you looked on the screen, it would give some names that maybe you not recognize, but it's actually the people that worked on the store.
Yeah.
Like some of the Universal creative teams. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah. And the mascot in here was a giant wizard that seemed to be a theme in the 80s for arcades, was a wizarding arcade. That's what it was in there. But.
And there was a cool Easter egg. So laser tag. There's a laser tag door that says like it's called the Laser Dungeon. And it was actually themed to Dueling Dragons.
Yeah, it was.
And I was like, oh my gosh, that's cool. So
did you ever play Dueling Dragons?
No, it's from the ride.
Oh, there's also a game called Dueling Dragons.
Oh,
I didn't see this thing, but the ride was
Fire
there.
and Ice.
Yeah.
That the from Islands of Adventure. Yeah,
I was
that's what they
thinking
were
of the
talking
game because it was an arcade.
Sorry. Okay. But yeah, so that was the arcade. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was nice. And then the last part was like you were going into a movie theater
called the Tribute Theater.
Yes, for it. And I was explaining again to our daughter, this is much like when you used to go to the mall and there was a movie theater in the mall, and this is kind of what it looked like. The counter where you paid would look like the box office where you go get your tickets. But this one was probably it was themed okay, but it wasn't like great. I think this was the weakest room.
Well, each wall had a display of the retro movies they were promoting or whatever. Like one wall was Jaws and had like a big boat on like kind of on the ceiling on the wall. And then one wall was Ghostbusters, and it was the scene of them trying to take down the monster, what are they called? The things at the end. What was her name?
I don't remember much about that movie.
Anyway, another wall was E.T. and it was like it's on a bicycle, like an actual bicycle was up there. And then the wall with the checkout area where they were standing was the clock tower.
Yes, that was cool.
It had the lions up there, and it was lightning. I was like, oh, this is so cool.
On the back wall, you also had a picture opportunity with the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Oh, that's right.
You could get a picture with him. But
that's right, you could.
Yeah.
But merchandise galore in there too. So
yeah.
But it was really cool.
Oh no, I liked it. I thought it was a cool store. I like the 80s theme. I think I like when they do that in these with like the summer, especially. Like last year was Jurassic Park. The summer before was kind of similar. It was like 80s blockbuster.
It was, yeah.
So I like this idea of that. I mean, the summer ones seem to be the most like nostalgic, I guess you could say maybe.
Okay, so let me ask you something. So if you can remember the last couple of tribute stores that we've seen. So this one, the arcade movie rental one, the retro summer one from was it last year? No, it was 2 years ago. The Jurassic Park one, all the Mardi Gras ones we've seen, Halloween Horror Nights ones we've seen, like the comic one for Halloween Horror Nights last year was really cool. Do you have one that's your favorite or one that you liked more than the others?
I really like the Jurassic Park one.
That was really cool.
That one, in terms of, it was probably the best one they've done. I mean,
it lasted forever too.
Well, and like the photo ops made it really cool. Yeah. Like you got the T-Rex in there, and you got the raptor scene.
Yeah,
like just,
cool.
I thought that was probably the best one they've done. Now this one didn't really have many fun. I mean, when I say photo op with the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, it was just on like a cardboard thing on the wall. So there wasn't a lot of photo opportunities like they had with Jurassic Park. So I don't know if that's something
it was a little different.
And they may not want to do that because a lot of it was people wanting to take pictures, and they're obviously wanting to sell you merchandise. So who knows? But yeah, I thought Jurassic Park. What about you?
My favorite, I did like the Jurassic Park one, but my favorite one was when they did the retro movies one where they did the Jurassic Park, or not Jurassic Park, Jaws, E.T., and Back to the Future, and they each had their own room.
Yeah.
That was pretty darn cool. Like the ET room looked just like Elliot's room.
Yeah, that was well done. That was probably that was like my second favorite one. I enjoyed that one a lot.
Which year, and I cannot remember this, which year had the Harry Potter room and it looked like it was winter?
That was for Christmas.
Was it the Christmas one?
Yeah, I want to say that was like 21 maybe.
Okay. That one was so cool. I loved that one.
Yeah. I do remember it was a Christmas one though.
Okay. I forgot about the Christmas ones.
Yes, but yeah, no, it was cool. It was very. We didn't get anything. Jamie she thought about getting a shirt, but she didn't get it.
I didn't. We were kind of going through quickly because we had to make our time for the Dreamworks Land preview, so we didn't really get to spend a ton of time in this. But we're going back, so
true. Yeah, very true.
But it was great. We did this all on the same day, and we got to see a lot of cool new stuff, and we loved the tribute store. We really enjoy Dreamworks Land, and we'll be obviously excited to go back. And not a lot of complaints over here.
No, I mean, no. It was Dreamworks Land was basically about everything I figured it would be. So it was all in line with my expectations, really. But well done, and our kids enjoy it. So especially our son. Our son liked it a lot, probably more than our daughter, but she's getting 7-8-year-old range.
Yeah, she's getting a little high up there.
She still likes Trolls.
Yeah.
But she also likes more rides.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so.
Yep. All right, well, that's all we have for the news and the entree for you today.
You are really going after the
we had an appetizer and we had an entree, and here's the dessert. So thank you.
I don't know if any of this is true.
Thanks for listening and watching today. Just want to mention that we do have some other shows on the network. We've got the Disney podcast that we do on Thursdays. Me and Jared talk about all things Disney, news, topic, etc. We also have Trope Tales, which I do twice a month, and that's on the main feed. And if you'd like to be a guest on my show, you can go to ctmtriptales.com and fill out the form. And if your trip is in line with what I'm looking for, I will get back with you. And what else? What else we got? We got social media.
Yeah, at Cap the Magic everywhere except for TikTok. We're at Capture the Magic. Be sure to check us out on YouTube. At Cap the Magic is where Epic Universe construction updates.
Like and subscribe.
Yes, I have a couple of videos going up on there. So we're going to do a lot more over there. And then if you want to catch video versions of the show and show clips, you can go over at CTM Podcast on YouTube.
Like and subscribe.
Yes. And yes, do that there. Thank you, Jamie, for that. And yes, that'd be it.
And then don't forget to check out some of our cool shirts that we've got in the store.
Well, yeah, we got a lot more releases. CTMapparelco.com. So we have a new Kilimanjaro Safari shirt. We have a new Expedition Everest shirt. I have some Universal stuff coming up as well that's in the works. So a lot more there. Plus, again, if you're a Club 32 member, you get 25% off for June.
Yay.
And since we had to rebuild the apparel site, take it off the main site. But yeah, you can also check out the website for the show, capturethemagicpodcast.com, if you want to check out the show notes there or articles and things that we have. So.
Okay, thank you, Jared.
You're welcome.
Well, thank you, everybody, for listening or watching. And again, thank you for being here and providing your opinions and your wisdom. I like to say wisdom. And everything that you do so well.
Thank you so much. Wait, this is where my theme music plays, right?
No.
Why? I thought this was my cue.
I didn't give you those compliments to give you a big head.
Fine. They made a song for me, and I thought it was my opportunity to play.
Who is they?
I don't know. People on the internet. They do things all the time.
Anyway, thank you, honey.
You're welcome,
Thank you.
dear.
Thank you, listeners or watchers. And as I always like to say, we will see you in the parks.
Bye.